tiptoeing around.
Either your parents or your school teacher.
They scream at you, you're a dog, remember?
And again, the word, for instance, dog in English and mbwa in Swahili, mbwa is a strong word.
Yes.
Because if you say you're a dog, it doesn't have any impact on you.
Right.
But mbwa wewe. That is...
Okay, what is the worst thing that anyone has ever told you and made you feel less of yourself? Like the worst thing you've ever heard about yourself?
Ooh, that was hard to start with. I know. She should start with something else. That's like the second to last question you asked in an interview.
No, you come so easy.
Yeah, but no, that's true.
Some of us.
I can say the worst thing, and that the B word, a bitch. That is the worst thing, and unfortunately,
you hear that a lot.
Yes, and people are very accepting to it. In different cultures, it's okay because you call each other that, you talk about it. But when coming from a different background, we never cursed, used those kind of words. We never ever had them. So when I first came here, and I was like,
okay,
yeah.
What we're gonna do is I'm about to go to jail because honestly that's one of the words that actually takes me to a place I shouldn't be. So if you want to come and bail me out, let somebody call me.
Sis, I can't.
We'll all show up, okay?
You know that right now I can't. It just came from Corona, so don't do that.
Right. That's why I don't fool around. So I'm just like,
didn't hear nothing.
Yeah, let's continue going to church. Keep going.
keep going to church. Yes.
What about you, Nancy?
I thought we were going that way.
Anyway, you're close.
Well,
what's the worst thing anyone has ever said to you that made you feel less of yourself?
Ooh, where do I start? Man, I had some things being said to me, like from growing up.
Yeah.
But anyways, it's okay. Well, I had one that I thought was a friend. And then, so I made myself feel comfortable around them and everything.
Right.
And then the friend insulted my mom and everything, I was like, well, you came from trash. So I'm like, and I was like, say one more thing and I'm gonna send you home in a box.
Y'all are brutal.
Because
because
that was
your family.
A low blow. Exactly. Yeah. I'm like, but if it would have come from somebody that I don't know, you know what I mean, then I wouldn't care. But it came from a person who I thought was a friend. And that was like, so that cut deep. Deep enough that, you know how Jesus said, Peter, this, that word that you said, who I am, came directly from my Father, you're blessed. And then the same day, the next hour later, he said, "Get behind me, Satan."
Never seen him.
That's why I like Peter.
I was like, it's like that, it took me to a level where Jesus would have rebuked me and said, that's get thee behind me, Satan.
Get behind me, Satan, Peter.
Now you're letting somebody else use you. So then, yeah.
That was the word. Lord.
Yeah.
What about you, Auntie?
With me, where are you from?
Oh my God.
You have an accent, where are you from? And then you tell them Africa. Oh, how did you get here?
Swimming.
It was a long one.
Okay. I think you guys need to hear how she
I
responded.
think it's my question, y'all. Was that my question? Okay, everybody chill. This is how I roll. Where are you from? And I smile. Africa.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. How did you get here? It took me a long time. I walked.
And then?
I'd believe you if I didn't know you.
And then the Pacific Ocean, there was a boat. Do you guys wear clothes? We really don't. But there's something we cover ourselves. So we're covered. So how are your homes? Oh, we live in a baobab tree. Next to it is American Embassy. And they do believe sometimes.
Right. But I mean, we've all had those stories where they always ask you, do you have houses in your country?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. I live in a tree and my pet is a lion.
And I sit around in an elephant.
I take elephant downtown.
I'm the daughter of a king.
Right.
Lions are friends.
I've said
We
this.
tame them.
They won't eat you.
I have said this, and they did not educate us well on this. Okay, I have to apologize. I am so sorry because every American thinks it's like
Yes, because
And
feed
it's
the
one
children.
big country.
feed the child. I know it's
because
they
feed the children.
They're starving in Somalia. They're starving in Ethiopia.
It's
Africa.
Africa.
One Africa is just one place.
Starving.
And
They're
while in
all
Africa,
starving.
we're just eating a lot of meat and we're just big fish. We're just,
And they're all
just having
dancing
over
with
there.
all the war paint,
We see the kid- yeah.
and they have only a few cloths on.
Yes.
Yes.
Some leaves.
Yes.
That was
And
me.
leaves that cover.
And no shoes.
Yeah,
That
no
was
shoes,
me.
absolutely
That was
no.
me.
They live in places that are like these
That was
yurts
me.
or something that's all dirt. There's
Yeah,
there are no streets, no
and there's
cars.
no running water.
No.
Nope.
No.
And guess what? There's peace.
But that's true though, in some places.
Because guess what? Because you don't pay bills.
That's true. The land you buy is yours. You don't have to pay
Yeah, that is-
taxes
I
on
will
that
say,
land.
Over there, when someone
They don't
bought a
have-
You
house,
do
What?
pay taxes like
No,
ground
yeah.
rent.
no
okay.
mortgage. When
That's
you
the
have
one
a
thing.
house,
It's true.
your house. Like,
Yes.
you
But you
build it
still
from
pay
the
ground
scratch.
rent.
Yeah.
Yes, the ground,
And
but the
stuff like
tax.
that.
But what if you
it's
own the
not
land?
that
What if you
much.
pay for the land?
It's not
You
that
still
much.
owe the city or whatever ground
Is it
rent.
kind of
You
like
have to
a
own
property
the
tax
land.
that we have?
But they
Yes.
also can give you an amount of time to
And you can
lease
go,
the
you can
land.
get around.
Of course,
So you
because
have to pay
everything's
that money because even if it's yours, you're still leasing that land.
Because
And
the
so you
land
have
by
to-
law
Because it's not our
owned
land.
by the
Yeah,
president
by or the country
government.
government. Yeah.
And the president is the
So and you have to be
whatever.
careful that your leases don't run out because if they do, somebody's going to take that house. The government's going to take that
But
house.
usually it's just like 100
So we
years,
do-
whatever.
we
so
do-
99 or
But that's in
Yeah.
Tanzania, right?
most African countries.
even in Uganda.
Yeah,
Different.
99 years.
It's the same.
Okay, I'm asking for myself because
And I'm
I'm
doing
like-
it because my mom has some property, so that's how I'm learning more about it. Like, who's gonna come take it out? I bought the house, I paid for it. Well, you still lease the land.
Right. What about you, Mary?
I was thinking about it. I've had some harsh things, but I had a best friend growing up. And we lived 4 houses down from each other. We'd known each other when we were 7 years old. I mean, we were just like brother and sister. Everything. I mean, I went there for Christmas and said bye, Mom and Dad. And, that's how close we were. And we went our separate ways after college. And we tried to reconnect. And he told me that he couldn't be friends with me because I didn't agree with his lifestyle. And it crushed my heart, even to this day,
Right.
because I love him so much. He is like a brother to me. And just because I don't agree with his lifestyle doesn't mean that I love him any less. And that I wouldn't give him encouragement and support and all those things. It's just, he didn't agree with my religious views, and I was okay with that.
Yeah.
And it still hurts me to the core. And then you give it to God, because what else are you gonna do?
Yeah. Nothing. The reason I went straight to this question first was because of what we were talking about, but in a minute it got me thinking, what's the worst I've ever heard in my life, and how do you overcome that? We're living in a world where judgment is like a normal thing, where people see you and they judge before they know a thing about you.
Exactly.
And it doesn't matter what race you are or what's your status in life or whatever it is, or people hear a thing about you, and instead of asking questions or inquiring from the people who are close to you, they just jump and judge. It's like judgment is a common thing. And so I brought this up to show people that this happens to everyone.
Yep.
Like, this happened to everyone. No one is safe from this. It's almost becoming a culture, like a common thing. But how do you overcome it?
we also do that to other people too.
True.
It's like there are so many things that are going on. I'm like, in our, it's. Let's turn that this way. in our minds,
It's finally not on us.
yeah, so in our minds, like immediately once we see a person, we immediately judge them. That's just our brain. That's how we survive. We have to gauge and kind of like get a feel for the territory, kind of. Exactly. So we automatically do a judgment, and then but so that first thought is like our brain. That's just automatic. That's our nature. Right. But it's that second thought that we have afterwards that really that defines who we are, right? And so if we go along with that,
the first
that defines who the person is.
It's
like the one that comes
too many
afterwards.
people go like, if you could think like that, then that's who you are. But honestly, anybody can think of some crazy stuff.
Exactly. But what comes after that thought? Do you go with like if it was something negative? Do you go along with it and stay there, or do you stop and correct that thought?
Right.
That defines who you are. Right. And so if there's a person that jumps to a conclusion about somebody and then stays there, that doesn't correct, then that person has a problem. And so I don't take those people, their thoughts and all those things on me. I don't like take them personally. Now, if it was an interview that said something like that, then I would I would come to you and say something about it. I would take it personally, but still, but like if it's like the people outside that are not close or anything, then you know. And definitely.
One thing that is common that I've heard from almost all of us is it's not really what is said, it's who is saying it. How do you choose friends? What do you pay attention to before saying this person is my friend?
That changes.
I mean, I want to go back a little bit to how you overcome it.
Yeah.
And over the years, I think it's a level of maturity.
Right.
But as I've changed, you know, I was raised Catholic, and the Catholic Church is more conservative. So there are a lot of things, you know, one, you didn't read the Bible as such, or things like this. But as I have transitioned and, you know, being around my friends for, it's been what, 16, 17 years, we've gone through some things, and we've said some things to each other, or gone through. But I think I will say today is knowing who I am in my God.
Thank you.
Who am I? Because nothing else defines me.
Right.
And He's the only one. But it's taken me, well, one, I'll say this about me. I really never care. I don't care what nobody has to say. I don't. And I started this way back, even in, you know, boarding school. Because one of my girlfriends, I had a really good friend. We grew up to, you know, pretty much together. And she always was like, oh, they say this about you, I'm not gonna walk to class with you. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm good, because whether you walk with me or don't, I'm still who I am.
Not changing.
But I didn't know it the way I know it now. I just had a I don't care attitude. I don't care who's my friend, who's there, who's not there. I'm still gonna get to class and do what I need to do. And she always came back to a few days, she said, I don't know how you do, you just don't care about what people say. Who are they?
Yeah.
And why? But as I've grown to know who I am in God, who He says I am, and what I have to, you know, who I hold on to. I have friends that I love dearly.
And we're friends with
we're sisters, but there you go. But I have sisters.
We're known as sisters.
Sisters from another baby, but that I've, because of so many different things we have been through, from having children to raising children to, you know, health concerns, or just different things that we argued and done. Yeah, and have we said some things to you? Yes, we have. Yeah. But who defines me? They don't.
Good question.
They don't. I know who defines me. I know who my maker is. But it took me to get to the level I am today.
That takes maturity, just like
a lot of maturity. Because you can say, oh, I don't care attitude. Yeah, you do.
You do.
Because it's in there. It hurts you. Because that's why we sit looking for likes. Oh, Doris didn't like my thing. How? You know,
and I know she was on there because I
care about it. We care. You care. No matter what you say, you still
care. You just don't want to dwell in it.
Exactly. And that's the attitude that I decide to use, because one, you don't pay my bill. You don't pay my rent. You don't take my love. You don't do anything for me. But and then I also learned that I'm gonna love you from a distance.
That's a thing too.
Right. I don't have to. One thing I also learned is I can love you, but I'm not gonna give you access to me.
Yes.
Yes, and we
And that's
also
it.
have to learn how to do that with family.
Right.
I can love
That
you.
is hard.
I love you, but I don't owe you access. That's it.
One more time, please. Hallelujah.
See, but it's taking me to read scripture, a lot of Bible plans, and just and the people. Who do you surround yourself with?
Right.
Getting to how do you pick your friends?
Right.
What are your interests? What are your likes? If I'm telling Doris, we are, because our spirituality is that's what is important to me right now in my life and my child. And I always go back to these two. These two don't know it, but how the Doris changed my life and my son's life.
Don't do that. I got my mascara.
Because I didn't know, Doris kept telling me for years, I need you to come to my church. But I was stuck in, this is how I was raised as a Catholic.
Right.
But was I learning anything from there?
At that moment.
At that moment I was, but that was not what I needed. Right. And so the day that I walked in there, and and then my son got into the L7 and did all that stuff. One of the nights we were driving home, and he said to me, Mommy, when we were going to the other church, we never used to go every Sunday. And it was 5 minutes away. We drive 22. And he said, and I used to sit in church and I never used to understand anything, but now I do. But it was, her who encouraged me. But she never forced anything on me. They never did. She just said, I just want you to come, and I never left. But I've learned so much and I've grown. I still have a lot way to go, but that's why I know who I am. Right. That's why nobody can define me. And you can call me, just don't call me a baby because we're going to jail.
And our best friend don't have money right now.
And Dad Doris, I need you to come and bail me out.
Corona.
There's Corona.
It's like waiting on the stimulus.
And Marie's very, very far, so no one is gonna come.
Oh, never mind. There's Dr. Nancy.
Dr. Nancy.
Yeah, we're good. Oh, you're good.
Not in a position to.
You're good, Dr.
Do
Nancy.
that.
Oh, can I have you on speed dial? Everybody see your number.
But that goes to how you pick your friends.
Right. Yeah.
That's what I say. That changes over time, and as you grow more, and you know that you want to.
I don't know, but I can't.
There is something that I think it's Tyler Perry was talking about. That, and this is something actually I shared with you a while back. I had a vision when it talks to friends. God literally gave me a vision of a rose, the plant.
Thank you, dear.
And what was very vividly to me was that when you look at your rose flower plant, right? Here in America, it's season. Right? Right now, if you go outside, it's a tree with thorn, nothing. And I remember on the other house, when you come in, it was right there. People will pass by and go, oh, that looks pretty. Maybe take one flower, and but during summertime, the same tree, people will pass by, say absolutely nothing. There's two things I learned from that. The first thing is that you have friends that they have to come for a season. They've got to go. Like, they have to go. Now, the way I got it was that as that tree and the leaves are falling down, there is some that will blown by the wind. And there is some that will stay there to actually neutralize the roots for the next season.
Right.
So what I'm always thinking, when those friends who left you, those grass that were there by the stem, right? And I like gardening. I like to do my flowers. When I do my flowers around, usually it's very moist.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The people who hurt you, they make you stronger. Because whatever they stay there, they protect the stem, they protect the roots to bloom the next season. And then you have friends who are the thorn. No matter what, everybody else will leave you. The thorn is still gonna be there.
Stay right there.
And usually they protect you. It's the thorn.
Wow.
Yes.
The ones that give
No
you
matter, it's like, oh, did you hear what happened to the race? Shut up.
Right.
They won't take crap. They will love you. They won't. So you gotta pray for that. But again, we're going back what she said, the identity. People suffer because they don't know who they are.
Identity crisis.
Yes, you don't know, because once you know who you are, you're not gonna worry when those friends leaves you. You're not gonna worry when it's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, it hurts.
But it was meant to hurt you, unfortunately, to help you grow for the next season. Then there will come new friends, they'll bloom.
Right.
But guess what? They will leave and some will hurt you
Right.
until you die.
It's a journey.
Yeah.
Do men struggle with friendship just like women?
Cyril can answer that too.
Yes, but again, it comes like everybody has been talking about what you value most in life in general. And there is a stage for men is different. Yes, there is the issue of emotion, whatever, but most like what interests are we in the same interest? For instance, right now, I give example. When I came to America for the first time, you still want to connect with so many people in Africa, whatever. But you give them the opportunity. They don't like it. It can hurt if you can call. Can you apply this opportunity? And then you remember Jesus when he came to the Jews and they didn't care. Say, okay, even the food you don't like, it will go to the other nation.
Right.
So in the end, is I don't care whether someone is really American or is Asian, but if we can connect. And you can do better things on this planet Earth, that is a friend.
Right.
So I'm just moving from, a friend must be from Tanzania or from my hometown.
Right.
It happened like we connected with other people like Doris, like they're from the same town, but in the end, it's just that kind of, for instance, like now, despite of anything, Angel, we can connect to so many other things because we can talk about YouTube with grow. So we have another interest of level of kind of
Friendship.
that one. Yes. Then Doris is your sister. We can also connect when we talk about restaurant. So there are certain things like you have a specific friendship of this area with certain people.
I see the wisdom behind this. It reminds me of, you know, Jesus with the 12 disciples. There was a time that he was with all of them, talking to them about the mission and the plan, what's happening and all that. But there's a time he was with the 3 disciples who were close to him, and it was just about him and them. And there was one who was closer to him, John, closer, loving, you know, and who was closer to him than anyone else. And honestly, we're looking at the Bible, and John, the revelation that he had, because he was the closest, even the things he has been speaking about in the Bible are deeper than the rest of the disciples, you know, because of that relationship. The problem that, honestly, I'm speaking as a woman right now, that we are facing when it comes to friendship, I think it's jumping.
We're trying to get too many Johns.
Don't classify.
We want too many Johns. Exactly.
But I think you go back to your identity. You want your friend. You're using your friends to define who you are.
Right.
So you have to pick. Am I looking at my friends because I want to be seen by everybody? Oh, this is the the rich crew, so I'm going to be with it. Am I? What are you looking for? But also, as we talked about much.
The answer to the next question on how to choose friends.
Right.
So first of all, what are you looking for?
For me, I'm growth.
Right.
You know, I'm looking for friends where we can grow, build me. What are we doing?
Yeah.
But I'll go back to our story, our history together. There's a time when all we used to do was party.
Right.
You know, we had a party here, we had a party there. Half of them people are not even here today with us. Because that was the same thing she's saying as Caesar. That was what was important then.
That was a special interest.
Right. That's it. What do you value? So and that's what we had around us, but what that created for us was a lot of drama, tears, heart, pain. Today where I sit is what are we doing for each other? Are we growing? Whether it's business related, whether it's spiritual growth, whether it's, ideas. I'm not in a place at my age today to sit and say, you remember the other person? How long are we going to talk about that? Remember that night we drank and drank. What are you talking about? You're stuck. Very true. So we're raising kids,
Right.
they're teenagers, even if they're babies.
Yeah.
How do you help? You know, like for me, I told a friend of mine the other day, I said, I'm about paying it forward because the support I had around me
Right.
to raise my son was powerful. I could never love a babysitter. Auntie Dorisa, and then of course I was still enjoying life. I was young, I gotta go out, I gotta go to the club. But in my life now, and I look for people who support me and I support them. I have a business.
Right.
You know, and I'm not looking that you have to use my business, but what can you help me? What can I help you? How do we grow?
Right,
How do we
exactly.
learn? Other than that, I'm not about to sit at a table and talk about people. No. I'm not about to sit at a table and talk about last year,
Throwback
2020,
life, which is really gone.
No, it's gone.
It's okay to reminisce, but not to like be like, you know,
It's
like
gotta be a
that's all
good
you're
memory.
talking about.
Something that will
But
help
we
you
can
grow.
talk about our children and the
Right.
things that we did, and all of that is fine. But we're looking for growth. I'm looking for people. That's why they say surround yourself with people who are going to help you grow. Who do you surround yourself with? So that, my friends, that's how they matter. That's how I choose them. But the minute you want, like I've had people, that's what she was saying. Oh, let me tell you this, Doris. I say, is she here? Okay. If she's not here, let's wait till we all get together.
Please
Then
hold the
please tell me the
about
story.
Right. Hold your peace.
Right. But and I'm like, and I always also told people, because we went through this, all my friends are very different. The relationships I have with each and every one of you, even at this table, is different. So I'm not gonna say Doris has to be like Petronilla or like
Sitting
Tunu, like who, like
In my bed,
No.
diaper bed.
And that's the other thing where you have to also think, you cannot say, oh, I put everybody together and all our friends, we're going to have the same thing. No, we build each other different, we
that's
support
what
each
it is,
other
yeah.
different. So you can go back to what you value.
I see your point. What about you, Mary? How do you choose friends?
You know I'm your sister.
Yeah, I don't have any friends. They're all my sisters. I know.
I don't want a boy changing.
In law?
In love.
We're all
In
sisters.
love.
In law. Oh, in love.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on.
In law. I'm like, okay, how do I choose friends? I honestly think that God chooses friends for me. I fully believe it because every time I try to get a friend, you know what I mean? We have moved 10 times in our 10 years of marriage, almost 11 years. We've moved so many times, and trying to find community is extremely difficult, even within my own religious background.
Right.
It's extremely difficult because everybody is different. It doesn't matter what you believe, where you work, what you know, where you shop. That does not matter. It doesn't matter because they're all saying the same thing, which is true.
Yeah.
You have to have the same interest. You and I want, and the same thing, exactly like John said, want to grow. I don't want to be like this stagnant thing just sitting there. So I'm grateful that God brought this whole community into my life because I have grown so much, and because people are honest with me.
Yeah.
They don't shield me from, you know, oh, tiptoe. Well, they did tiptoe around when we got a mouse in the house, but you know, they didn't want to tell me. But no, really, I really do think that God chooses my friends for me, and it takes me a minute to recognize it, you know. But and also, I just have a sense, you know, like the Holy Spirit. I really, really believe it. You know, some people say it's just like my antennas go up or whatever you want to say. But I can usually sense a person and their ulterior motives, usually, from sitting there and talking to them. And are they interested in me, or and what we can share, or is it only what I can give them completely? You know, am I useful to them? Because if I'm only useful to them, that isn't a friendship. You know?
Wow, you can say that one more time.
And that makes it hard because that's when you think, what did I do? Or at least I do. What did I do that you don't want more than just what I can do for you? And that's hard because you know, a lot of people, they're going off Facebook now, or they're going off of here, or they're just stopping social media altogether. They say, you know, and I say, if I don't have Facebook, I don't have a community, because I've moved so many different places and so many times that I am able to reach out to people. It may not be a community like this, but it's still some community that I can, like I have a group of mothers and wives that are community on Facebook. It's a private group. And I tell you, they're there. If I say, I need you to pray. When my husband was in the Navy, and I was really closed off, and I didn't want to branch out to meet people. I just was happy with my own little circle. And he said, you really need to try. You just really need to try. And I said, and I'm so grateful to my husband that he said, you really need to try. Just go with an open mind. Just because they aren't the same as you doesn't mean that there's not good friends available, and even to this day I still keep in touch, and we lean on each other. There's someone really sick in the family, and we all got together and we wrote letters, and we contributed some, we just tried to
take care of each other,
and
that's good. So you believe in praying and paying attention to the kind of person that you're choosing in your circle.
Really, got to pay attention to, and that takes time. I mean, because I'm a very social person, so it's easy for me to talk to all kinds of people. But I can always tell when it's the person that comes back and says, well, you were saying, or do you want to hear what I have to say? Like they really still want to have that conversation or interaction with you. You know that there's more to it.
More. I see your point. What about you, Auntie Doris?
I trust that God brings your friends. That's very important. Like I said, for me, I stick with my illustration of the plant. Because you don't know people's heart, but God do. But if you know who you are and continue to do how God created you to be, loving, caring, and those that God is time for them to go, they'll go. And those that are supposed to stay, they will stay. And you don't have to fight. You don't have to fight. You don't have to beg. I used to be a people pleaser.
Let's talk about that.
I used to be a people pleaser.
I did struggle with that, honestly. That's why I'm saying let's talk about that.
It's a sin. It's a sin, just like someone who is
doing anything else.
Because you are doing it to please yourself. You can call it fornication, seriously. Because you're doing it so it can make you happy.
But you're not happy.
But you're not happy. Technically.
It's like worship.
Yes.
It's worship. It turns into worship.
But then that's not fair for your friend.
And for yourself.
And for yourself.
Mostly for yourself.
And then shame on you.
To
God.
But I still go back to that identity. Because when you don't know yourself, you think you have to please all these people to love you, to be with you, to be your friend, or knowing who you are in Christ. So when you learn that, doesn't mean you won't struggle. You still will struggle because you get disappointed by things people do or say or whatever. But if you stay in your word and you believe what you believe, and I mean, does it get any easier? Sometimes, but there's still some struggles.
But isn't it tempting to rely on the good friend that you have when it comes to who you think you are?
Oh, every time.
All the time, right?
All the time. Because just because we know who we are in Christ doesn't take away that fact that you still have those, you still have those issues. It doesn't take it away. It's just how you wake up and say, oops.
She or he is not the source.
It's not and for me, I think I found that peace and happiness are important to me. Positive environment, peace, happiness. But what that looks like to her, to you, is different from what it looks like to me. So everybody has to really know what does that, mean to them or look like to them, and make, those things happen.
I find that so wise to that you need to know who you are, and not let that and not let that
define.
Not have other people be the ones that are defining you.
Not even the good ones.
Right, because in reality, we're not taking anybody with us when we go into that casket. It's us. And when our soul, I mean, we would like to bring them along in the end, of course, but we're the one that meets God. You know? True. And so we need to answer to him. And it has taken me a long time to say, yeah, I'm a daughter of the King. Yeah. And that's okay. And if you don't like that, that's okay. I'm not gonna hide who I am, but I'm also not gonna push it on you.
I want to finish with this. Is it pride for a person to say, I know who I am, this is the line and you're not crossing here?
Honey.
It could be.
Okay.
What is it?
There's two sides.
Is it pride?
It could be, depending on how.
And how you say it, and how you say it, and how you use it.
How that comes from your heart.
However, though, it goes back to the identity.
Yes.
Because once you know your identity, then you don't have to say it.
Right.
But in your mind, those things, you can put that line and say, no, no. But you don't have to say it. Because it can come across.
Because I can stand here all day long and I say I know who I am in God, but I'm hiding under the bed trying to call all these people and make them be who what they are to me.
Right.
The thing about it is you don't have to broadcast what you are, what you believe, or what you do.
They're gonna know.
And that's why we struggle with social media, because you post these things or people post, and I like Facebook to me. And I respect what you're saying. It's not a community to me, because and I'm off of it right now because it's fake.
Right. Everybody has a different take, and that's fine.
But I guess my what my situation is, and I do have private groups that I follow. But I think it's also especially that I was taken aback during the political season. And just different things, and I'm like, okay, this is too negative for me. And then I think I was burnt by knowing that there was some people that I looked to or that I thought were my leaders that were, not that I need to tell you who you need to support, but if we're going through this as Black people and you say this is okay, then but that's my issue, it wasn't their issue. That was my heart that was being taken to a bad spirit, which I said, okay, I have to detach to clear my spirit. Because it's not about the other person, it's me.
And there's no one, you can't really rely on blaming someone else for you to feel better.
Exactly. So I just really don't believe in broadcasting things and things like that, because I may sit and say, Angel, yeah, I know who I am. I'm a child of God and I believe. But in the background I'm doing, and integrity is very important. What you do in front of people should be the same thing you do when they're not there.
Right.
So integrity is huge.
But one thing, to me, social media, I'm always looking at it as healing to people. When I say healing to people, meaning I'm really good on comments on social media. Because sometimes I feel like, because I've come across where I see someone's photo, and every time I have an opportunity, I don't do it, but when I get an opportunity, I come across it, I will not just like. If I have an opportunity, I will say something. Because I don't believe on just being silent. The reason why that person took their time to share, they wanted you to see it and applaud them. Because my biggest problem that I have is that most people don't tell each other good stuff until we're dead. Someone is dead. So the reason why because I probably would know the entire of your story because I don't live with you. By you sharing those stories, they give me an opportunity to express my heart to you. Now, I've come across someone who say, that was fake. I'm really going through a hard time in my marriage.
Oh, wow.
I was just putting there, I just wanted to put something. You know what? I told that person, I think I like that because you have faith.
Right.
That's not fake.
Right.
You have faith.
Right.
Because faith, what is faith?
Being sure. It's the assurance.
Of what?
What you're hoping for.
your marriage is crumbled behind the scene, but you're putting a picture of your husband because your heart. So you're trying to think, still believe it. So I don't look at, to me, on that part. Yes, when Joanne was talking about the politics on that, yes, that was a little crude. That was a little crude. Somebody overuse it. But again, like you said, you don't have to tell someone, stop. What I do, look.
Because I had to decide me.
Yes.
Because then if I see, like I'm saying, I see this person, okay, they're posting their lovey-dovey with the husband, but I really know what they're going through. I'm human. I have a judgmental attitude. I say, you know what I mean? So for me, and that's why even when the political things were going on, my spirit was getting bad.
Alright, yeah.
And bad towards where I was like, okay, when I see this person at church, I'm not hugging them. I had to work on me. I am not going to try to worry about that person.
That's what we're talking about. You say, you know what?
Yeah, I have to. And for me, I guess that's why I took a break from it, because, okay, bottom line, it wasn't building me.
Right.
Not spiritually, not business-wise, not anything. It wasn't, what is it doing for me? Apart from, and that's the other thing, the other day in 180, when we had Pastor Benjamin Hope, and he really was talking to the youth about social media. And he said, do you prefer to have more likes than life? You know what I mean? Because we do. When I was waking up in the morning, I haven't even prayed. I haven't opened my Bible. I haven't said thank you, God, for waking me up. I'm busy scrolling. It's 5 a.m. in the morning. What am I looking for? So for me, it was more taking my time away from the things that should be important to me. So it's not even necessarily about what people were posting. It's more about how, what it was taking away from me and what is important in my life.
Do men struggle with identity?
A lot. But we don't show emotion like women. But it affects a lot. In so many areas. Let me give you an example. One, whether you like it or not, men's confidence is based on 2 or 3 items overall. Money, ability to have kids and other things to provide, those kind of things. Those are the critical ones. So how do you use social media? So there are various groups of people. You can use your social group to intimidate others that you are more money, you are more muscular, whatever, all crazy thing. Or you can use it also to support others who may not feel it better, or you can use it for business to raise yourself up, those kind of things. So that is another area you can use your social media for. But majority of people, that's why, especially men, you find out, let's say, I'm giving an example, you wake up in the morning, what is Diamond is doing? What is Alikiba is doing? What is maybe this musician, Davido in Africa is doing? What about this musician in America? So you're just like from one page to another page, what type of shoes he's wearing. Men do that a lot. But if you don't reach at a certain point to identify who you are and what you want to do in this life, you end up to live someone else's dream. So that's
information about other people.
Yes, you have so many information, and then what they are going to wear, it can affect you what you are going to spend yourself. So men, they have that, but they might not talk like women, like, oh, this Chanel or whatever, those crazy thing. They cannot do that, but you see, like, either you don't have that one, and it can kill men's like self-confidence at all. So you can even approach a woman, you say no, you think, oh, it's because I'm not having 6 packs, or because I don't have that, I have bald head, because of, like, you can start like putting problem. No, I'm not interested with you. Simple like that.
Yes.
So, but because you have created that